Social media, a blessing or a curse? What do you think? As I've spoken about in my previous videos in this series, we know that rates of anxiety and depression have been skyrocketing as more and more of our teens are spending more and more time on cell phones. And we need to create more balance in our homes with helping our children actually know how to thrive in the real world. We're having issues with porn addiction, attention problems, and then just problems of feeling bad about ourselves when we compare ourselves to others' best and our worst. They're showing their best on social media, and we compare that to all the ways that we are lacking. All these subtle little things add up to have major impacts on our developing children. And if we're honest with ourselves, all of those aspects of social media are having impact on us as well. If we can't escape unscathed, how can we expect our children to thrive when they're being faced with all of these challenges? How are your children affected by social media? And what are the rules that you have in your home to help them have healthy balance? If I'm really honest, I don't have any social media. Sometimes I've attempted in the past, and I always just end up scrolling and scrolling and scrolling for hours, or I end up feeling bad about myself, or I end up in places that I don't want to be. After several years of trying to have balance in my life, I just knew that for my personality, it just doesn't work well. You can find a trail of lots of stops and starts with me on Instagram because in the end, I just can't make it work for my personality. Now, many of you have developed some amazing habits that have helped you to have balance, and social media is a blessing for you. It's a place where you connect, or a place where you are inspired or find wonderful ideas. Some of us, though, it's just mostly a challenge. We need to be honest with ourselves about how social media is affecting us, and we need to be very aware of how social media is affecting our children. And it doesn't have to just be social media. I know that there are certain games that if my children play them, like video games, they're more angry. They have less patience. They're less likely to be helpful versus if they play another type of video game. It's amazing to me how seemingly small and subtle things can have such a big impact. So, what's the ideal? In an ideal world, what would the situation be? In an ideal world, our children probably wouldn't be on social media at all. They wouldn't have a phone until after they were 16, and we would be allowing them to be children for as long as they can, to just relish in being imaginative, spending time with friends, spending time outside, spending time pursuing other interests rather than feeling stuck scrolling all the time. But we live in reality, and sometimes our reality just can't match the ideal. So, what are some things we can do? Number one, if your child is struggling, whether it's with social media or video games or just wasting time in a digital space, don't be afraid to make changes. Don't be afraid to say, I'm noticing these negative impacts that this is having in our home, and we need to make some changes. Have a conversation with them, develop a plan that you both feel good about. Try something new. In my video about Spotify, I had to take Spotify off of certain places, and my kids weren't happy about it at first. When I explained to them the risks and I explained to them my concerns, we found a new way to go forward where they could still enjoy their music, but they didn't have access to some of the things that were causing a problem. Guess what? After a month or two, that thing that they couldn't live without, they're suddenly so thankful that it's not dragging them down anymore. Sometimes when we're right in the thick of it, we don't have clarity. We need to take a break. We need to see what really matters. We need to see what we really want to be spending our time doing instead of spending time looking at our devices. And that leads us to the second point in creating a new type of reality in our homes. What have you traded for your screen usage? Have you let go of hobbies and experiences that you used to really enjoy because now you're just scrolling on your phone? Take an honest look about how you are spending your time and how your children are spending their time, and think about what you could be doing instead, how you could be using your time in a far better way, in a way that actually makes your life happier, more connected, and more fulfilling. What little changes could you make that could have a big impact? In the description box above, I've included a link to a free digital download that has some questions that you can ask to see how social media and cell phone usage might be affecting your child and your teen, and a space where you could write some changes that you could make in this next month to have more balance in your home. As always, if you need help in connecting or teaching about healthy sexuality, you can find my book on my website. You can also find a link to free resources, or you can schedule a guidance session with me. I hope that you have a wonderful week. We'll catch you next time.